Hey there, fellow cinephiles. Welcome back to Real Talk, your go-to podcast for all things cinema. Today, we are continuing our thrilling journey through the fascinating realm of cult classics. Today, we're going to dive into a film that is delightfully quirky as it is undeniably charming, Napoleon Dynamite. Now picture this, a small town in the heart of Idaho where the sky stretches wide, the mountains loom tall, and the people are just as eccentric as the landscape. In this offbeat oasis, we meet Napoleon, a high school student with a penchant for moon boots, tater tots, and dance moves that are, well, uniquely his own. But Napoleon isn't alone in his quirks. No, he's joined by a cast of characters so wonderfully oddball that you can't help but fall in love with them. From the perpetually optimistic Pedro to the hilariously inept Uncle Rico, each character in the film is a gem in their own right, adding humor and heart to this charming indie film. So grab your favorite snack, cozy up in your favorite chair, and prepare to journey with us through the idiosyncratic world of Napoleon Dynamite as we dissect what makes this film an enduring favorite among cult cinema aficionados. Get ready for an adventure filled with laughs, nostalgia, and maybe even a few dance moves of your own. Let's dive into the delightful world that is Napoleon Dynamite. So let's take a look at the charmingly offbeat world of Napoleon Dynamite. So we're introduced to Napoleon, a high school student with a penchant for moon boots and an extraordinary ability to make even the most mundane task seem utterly captivating. From the moment we meet him, it's clear that Napoleon is anything but your typical teenage protagonist. He's not interested in fitting in or conforming to society's expectations. He's just trying to navigate the absurdities of small-town life in a way that is uniquely his. Now, let's talk about Napoleon's family, because they are just as quirky as he is. There's his older brother Kip, an aspiring martial artist with a penchant for online dating and somewhat questionable sense of self-confidence. And then there's Uncle Rico, a washed-up former football player who spends his days peddling shady get-rich-quick schemes and reminiscing about his glory days on the gridiron. Together, they form a hilariously dysfunctional trio that adds an extra layer of absurdity to Napoleon's already chaotic life. But within that chaos and the hilarity, there's a surprising amount of heart to be found in the film. Take Napoleon's friendship with Pedro, for example. Despite their differences, Napoleon sees something special in Pedro, a quiet determination and a refusal to be defined by the expectations of others. Together, they embark on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment, culminating in Pedro's unforgettable run for class president and Napoleon's iconic dance routine at the school assembly. And we can't forget about Deb, Napoleon's sweet but slightly eccentric classmate who dreams of starting her own business selling keychains. She may not always see eye to eye with Napoleon, but their awkward flirtations and shared dreams of escaping small-town life add a touch of sweetness to the film's offbeat humor. As the story unfolds, we're treated to a series of wonderfully bizarre encounters and laugh-out-loud moments that remind us of the beauty of embracing our quirks and celebrating our differences. Whether it's Napoleon's deadpan delivery, Pedro's quiet determination, or Uncle Rico's hilariously misguided attempts at self-improvement, Napoleon Dynamite is a film that celebrates the joy of being yourself in a world that expects conformity. So as we journey through the absurdities and the triumphs of Napoleon's world, we can't help but be charmed by its unique blend of humor, heart, and unabashed weirdness. Because in the end, Napoleon Dynamite isn't just a movie, it's a celebration of individuality, friendship, and the joy of being exactly who you are, no matter how weird or wonderful that may be. Let's take a short break right here. When we get back, we'll talk about the soundtrack. Alright, and as we do at this time of every episode, let's talk about the backbone of the film, the sonic landscape of the soundtrack, which plays a crucial role in shaping this film's quirky atmosphere. Now, we have to start right off with giving a huge shout out to Jamiroquai's Canned Heat. This song kicks off one of the most iconic dance sequences in film history, as Napoleon struts his stuff in his solo dance that's equal parts hilarious and oddly memorizing. The infectious groove of Canned Heat perfectly captures Napoleon's unapologetic confidence and unique sense of self-expression, making it a standout track that has become synonymous with the film. But Napoleon Dynamite isn't just about one killer dance number. The entire soundtrack is filled with a diverse array of tracks that reflect the film's offbeat charm and quirky sensibility. From the nostalgic synth pop of Alphaville's Forever Young to the infectious energy of a-ha's Take On Me, each song adds a layer of depth and personality to Napoleon's world, helping to immerse us in his eccentric universe. But it's not just about the licensed tracks. The original score by John Swihart also delivers on its charm, on the whimsical charm and playful energy within the film. Swihart's compositions enhance the film's quirky tones, adding whimsy to Napoleon's misadventures and bringing his eccentric world to life in vivid Technicolor. What is truly remarkable about the soundtrack is its ability to evoke a sense of nostalgia while feeling fresh and relevant. So whether you grew up in the 80s, the 90s, or the 2000s, there is something on this soundtrack that will resonate with you, transporting you back to a time when you were awkward and those unforgettable days of your adolescence. The Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack is like a musical time machine that captures the essence of a bygone era while still feeling as quirky and charming as ever. So crank up the volume, embrace your inner Napoleon, and get ready to dance like nobody's watching. We'll take another quick break right here. When we get back, we'll take a look at the themes within the film. So let's explore some of the thematic elements of Napoleon Dynamite and see how they contribute to the film's enduring appeal. First, you have to start with the individuality and self-expression. Napoleon Dynamite celebrates the idea that it is okay to be different, even if that means marching to the beat of your own drum. Napoleon himself is a prime example of this, as he is unapologetic in himself. From his unconventional fashion choices to his quirky hobbies like drawing mythical creatures, despite facing ridicule and misunderstanding from his peers, Napoleon remains steadfast in his identity, refusing to conform to any of these societal norms. The theme of embracing your uniqueness resonates with the audience, especially if you have ever felt like you didn't quite fit in, reminding us that it is okay to be weird and wonderful in a world that often values similarity and conformity. Friendship is another central theme in the film. Despite his outsider status, Napoleon forms bonds with fellow misfits like Pedro and Deb. These friendships provide him with a sense of camaraderie and support, and it shows that true connections can be found in the unlikeliest of places. Whether it's helping Pedro run for class president or teaming up with Deb to sell her glamour shots photos, Napoleon's friendships serve as a source of strength and companionship in a world that can often feel isolating, especially in adolescence. Family dynamics also play a significant role in the film, particularly Napoleon's relationship with his offbeat family members, from his awkward interactions with his older brother Kip to the tender moments with his grandmother. Napoleon's family life is both hilarious and heartwarming. The film explores these complexities of a familial relationship and the struggle for autonomy and the transition to adulthood, offering a relatable portrayal of the ups and downs of family life. Napoleon Dynamite also offers a satirical take on small-town America, poking fun at the quirks and idiosyncrasies of a rural life. From the bizarre world of high school elections to the offbeat characters who populate Napoleon's hometown of Preston, Idaho, the film presents us with this caricatured yet affectionate portrait of small-town culture. Through its deadpan humor and absurd scenarios, Napoleon Dynamite lampoons the mundane of everyday life while celebrating everything that makes a small town living both charming and odd to the outsider. And the film then also explores themes of self-improvement and personal growth in its own way. Napoleon and his friends embark on these various misadventures and schemes throughout the film, each one offering an opportunity for growth and discovery. Whether it's gaining confidence, learning to assert yourself, or simply embracing what makes you unique, Napoleon Dynamite celebrates this journey of self discovery and the messy, unpredictable process of growing up. So, Napoleon Dynamite becomes more than just this quirky comedy. It's a heartfelt exploration of individuality, friendship, family, and the absurdities of small town life. Through its relatable characters, its offbeat humor, and the poignant themes, the film has captured the hearts of audiences worldwide, reminding us to embrace that uniqueness, cherish our connections, and find joy in the strange and in the odd parts of life that make everything so interesting. Let's take a quick break right here, and when we come back, we'll talk about the cast and the crew. And we have to take a look at the fantastic group of talent that brought this film to life, both in front of and behind the camera. This film is an amazing group of quirky and wonderful small-time breakout roles and wonderful moments that you just have to appreciate. And you can't start anywhere but with Napoleon himself. Jon Heder in his breakout role as his portrayal of the socially awkward yet oddly endearing student is iconic. From his distinctive mannerisms to his deadpan delivery, Heder really embodies Napoleon with that perfect balance of awkwardness, but he's still charming. His performance not only defined the character, but also becomes a touchstone in culture, with quotes like, "Vote for Pedro," entering the lexicon of pop culture. And then opposite Heder, we have Efren Ramirez as Pedro, Napoleon's loyal but soft-spoken friend. Ramirez brings a quiet strength and authenticity to the role. He grounds the film's absurd humor with this earnest portrayal. Despite minimal dialogue, Ramirez's presence on screen is palpable, and his friendship with Napoleon serves as the emotional heart of our story. And Tina Majorino shines as Deb, the sweet and socially awkward classmate who forms this unlikely bond with Napoleon. Majorino's performance is a delightful blend of, again, that quirkiness and a sincerity as she navigates the awkward attempts at romance and entrepreneurship with her endearing clumsiness. Her scenes with Heder are filled with this awkward yet charming interactions, highlighting a genuine connection between their characters. And there's my personal favorite, John Grease, who rounds out the main cast with his scene-stealing performance as Uncle Rico, Napoleon's delusional, eccentric uncle. Grease fully embraces the absurdity of the character. He delivers a performance that is equal parts hilarious and cringe-inducing. His exaggerated machismo and outlandish schemes provide some of the film's most memorable moments, serving as a comedic foil to Napoleon's deadpan demeanor. And then when we transition to behind the camera, director Jared Hess brings his distinct vision to life with impeccable precision. Hess's offbeat sensibility and quirky aesthetic are evident in every frame of the film. From its static shots to its deadpan delivery, his unique approach to storytelling, combined with a keen eye for detail, creates a world that feels both familiar and surreal, inviting audiences to immerse themselves into this quirky universe of Napoleon Dynamite. Supporting his vision is co-screenwriter Jerusha Hess, whose sharp wit and keen observation of small-town life infuse the script with humor and heart. Together with Jared, she crafts a story that is absurd but heartfelt, blending offbeat humor with genuine emotion. Their collaborative effort results in a narrative that resonates with us on a very personal level, capturing that awkwardness and uncertainty that is adolescence and comes across very honest and authentic. In addition to the cast and crew, Napoleon Dynamite features a memorable soundtrack that perfectly complements the offbeat vibe, from indie rock sounds of Cake and the White Stripes to those retro funk grooves of Jamiroquai and the Canned Heat. It's just wonderful. This soundtrack is a nostalgic trip down memory lane for those of us of a certain age and adds to the quirky charm. As we've noticed, these films in the cult classic sort of mold come from a power of collaboration. Each member of the cast and crew really brings something unique to the experience and make it heartfelt and hilarious. In this case, from John Heater's iconic performance to Jared Hess's inspired direction, the film becomes a cult classic because of the way it delights the audience with offbeat humor and quirky charm. We'll take a quick break right here. When we come back, we'll actually look a little deeper into why this is a cult film. So Napoleon Dynamite has really solidified its status as a cult classic for several reasons that have resonated deeply with audiences since its release. So let's take a look at why this indie comedy has garnered such a devoted following and continues to be celebrated and quoted today. First, the eccentric characters and unique humor set it apart from other mainstream comedies. Napoleon Dynamite, with his idiosyncratic personality and unforgettable catchphrases like "Vote for Pedro," "Gosh," quickly become an iconic figure in pop culture. His awkward interactions, his deadpan delivery, they're both endearing and hilarious, making him a character that audiences can root for. But beyond Napoleon himself, the cast of equally quirky characters with their own distinct quirks, like Pedro's quiet determination, Deb's unconventional hobbies, every character adds to the film's offbeat charm and contributes to the cult appeal. Even the supporting characters, Uncle Rico and Kip, have become beloved figures in their own right, thanks to memorable performances and quotable lines. Napoleon Dynamite also resonates with audiences because of the universal themes of awkwardness, alienation, and the search for identity. Napoleon, Pedro, and Deb are all outsiders in their own way. They navigate the challenges of adolescence and try to find their place in a world that doesn't quite understand them. Their struggles are relatable to anyone who's ever felt like they don't fit in, making the film's message of embracing your uniqueness especially poignant. Another key factor of the film's cult status is its grassroots marketing and the word-of-mouth success. Despite its modest budget and limited initial release, Napoleon Dynamite quickly gained momentum through positive word of mouth and enthusiastic fan support. Viewers were drawn to the quirky charm and unconventional humor, spreading the word to friends and family and turning it into a surprise hit. Napoleon Dynamite also inspired a dedicated fan community and a wide range of merchandise and spin-offs, from t-shirts and action figures to an animated TV series and even a comic book. The film's influence extends beyond the screen. Fans have embraced the film as a beloved cultural touchstone, celebrating the unique blend of humor and heart and keeping its legacy alive through their continued enthusiasm. And finally, Napoleon Dynamite has endured as a classic because of its timeless appeal and enduring popularity. Despite being released about 20 years ago, the film's quirky humor and endearing characters continue to resonate with audiences. Its themes of friendship and self-discovery and embracing our uniqueness are as relevant today as they were when it was released, ensuring that it will continue to be a cult classic for years to come. So finally, Napoleon Dynamite has earned its place as a cult classic through its originality, the memorable characters, universal themes, the grassroots marketing, a dedicated fan base, and its timeless appeal. Its offbeat humor and quirky charm have made it a beloved favorite among audiences around the world, cementing its status as a timeless classic that will continue to entertain and inspire. With that, let's take another break, and when we come back, we'll look at some trivia. So let's take a look at some fascinating trivia around Napoleon Dynamite. First, the film's writer and director, Jared Hess, drew inspiration from his own upbringing in Preston, Idaho. For the settings of the characters of Napoleon Dynamite, many of the film's quirky personalities and peculiar events were based on real people and situations from his own childhood, adding authenticity to the offbeat charm. And when it came to casting, it was intriguing to note that Jon Heder, who portrayed the iconic character Napoleon Dynamite, was an unknown in Hollywood before landing this role. Heder's unique portrayal of the socially awkward Napoleon caught the attention of audiences, propelling him to stardom almost overnight. Similarly, Efren Ramirez as Pedro, Napoleon's soft-spoken friend, became an instant fan favorite. Ramirez's performance adds depth and humor to the character, and it has made Pedro one of the most beloved characters in the film. Now, interestingly, John Grease, who played Napoleon's Uncle Rico, initially auditioned for a different role. However, after reading the script, Grease was drawn to the character of Uncle Rico and actually lobbied for that role, ultimately delivering a memorable and comedic performance that really contributed to the film's success. Another noteworthy aspect of Napoleon Dynamite, that indie rock soundtrack, which complements the film's quirky atmosphere, featuring songs from White Stripes and Cake. They really do add to that nostalgic feel that enhances its humor. And that iconic scene, I just can't mention it enough. Jamiroquai's Canned Heat and the dance sequence that was completely improvised by Jon Heder during filming. And it's now become one of the most memorable moments in that entire film. No planning, he just went out and did it. Now, despite its modest budget, just $400,000, Napoleon Dynamite became a surprise box office hit, grossing over $46 million worldwide. Its unexpected success turned it into a cultural phenomenon and solidified that cult status. So Napoleon Dynamite, again, hilarious, heartwarming film, but it's also a testament to what happens when you bring truly talented, creative people together with one vision. They create the authentic characters and an unbelievable movie that will continue to captivate audiences with this unique charm and appeal. We'll take one more quick break right here. When we get back, we'll wrap it up and I'll give you my rating. So as we bring this episode to a close, let's look back on our journey through the whimsical world of Napoleon Dynamite. It is a beloved cult classic that has charmed audiences and will continue to with its unique blend of offbeat humor, quirky characters, and memorable moments that leave a lasting impression. We began our exploration by diving into the plot, moving on to the soundtrack, and again, I can't mention it enough, Jamiroquai's Canned Heat and the dance scene, absolute perfection on film. Exploring the themes that are within Napoleon Dynamite, and then looking at the cast and crew, all the wonderful people from Jared and Jerusha Hess to Jon Heder, Tina Majorino, and everyone else. And finally, we explored some fascinating trivia about its humble beginnings to its unexpected success at the box office and the improvised dance. In conclusion, I give Napoleon Dynamite a critical rating of 7.5 out of 10. While its offbeat humor and quirky charm may not be for everyone, it is an endearing film, and its characters and heartfelt message make it worth revisiting time and time again. Now remember, you guys can always reach us. Our email is therealrealtalk@gmail.com, or you can connect with us on Instagram and Threads @realrealtalk. And be sure to join us next time as we finish up our series on cult classics with a review of The Holy Mountain, Alejandro Jodorowsky's wild esoteric film. Until then, keep watching, keep loving, and keep those reels rolling. Thanks, everyone.